Russia claims that its deadly missile attack on Ukraine's city of Sumy that killed and wounded scores on Sunday had targeted a gathering of Ukrainian troops. Today, European leaders condemned the attack as a war crime, sparking calls for more sanctions on Russia. But a Kremlin spokesman said Russia's army only strikes military targets. Ukraine has called for a global response to the attack. Poland holds the European Union's rotating presidency and says Russia is mocking ceasefire efforts. A warning: some of the images in this story are disturbing, but the video shows the devastation caused by the attacks. Russia appears to be intensifying its deadly attacks on Ukraine as diplomatic efforts to end the war drag on. Yesterday, on Palm Sunday, 2 Russian ballistic missiles ripped through the northern city of Sumy, killing at least 34 people and wounding more than 100 others, according to Ukraine. It's the deadliest single attack on Ukrainian civilians since 2023. A video live stream of a church service being held in the city captured the moment the 2 strikes hit, with the sound of deafening explosions shaking the whole building.
The Ukrainians are saying they believe that there are 2 reasons why there were so many victims in this attack. On the one hand, they say it happened during Palm Sunday as people were gathering to either go to church or possibly were coming from church, obviously a big holiday there in Ukraine. But they also say that it was the munitions that were used that also led to the carnage being as bad as it was.
Russia's defense ministry asserted that the strike targeted a gathering of senior military officers.
У нас есть факты о том, кто находился.
The country's foreign minister said the target of the attack in Sumy had been a meeting of Ukrainian and Western military personnel, which he labeled a mob-up, a slang term used to describe a mafia gathering. He added that the Western military officers had been disguised as mercenaries, but did not offer any evidence to back his claim. President Volodymyr Zelensky demanded a tough international response against Moscow over the attack, which came with U.S. President Donald Trump's push to rapidly end the war, struggling to make a breakthrough. Yesterday, Trump said he was told Russia's deadly attack was a mistake.
I think it was terrible, and I was told they made a mistake, but I think it's a horrible thing. I think the whole war is a horrible thing.
You were told they made a mistake? You mean it was unintentional?
They made a mistake. I believe it was. Look, you're going to ask them. This is Biden's war. This is not my war.
Meanwhile, many leaders condemned the strikes on Ukraine.
I think we have to put the pressure, the maximum pressure on Russia to really end this war, because it takes 2 to want peace. It only takes 1 to want war, and we see that Russia really wants war. And all those who want the killing to stop should put the maximum pressure on Russia.
Another devastating attack yesterday by Russia on Ukraine, targeting deliberately civilian infrastructure, and also with a severe number of civilian victims, also including children. And this is just hours after President Trump's envoy Steve Witkoff was in St. Petersburg negotiating with Putin on a potential ceasefire. So I guess this just shows that Russia shows full disregard for the peace process.
Earlier today, Ukraine said a Russian drone strike injured at least 7 people in the city of Odessa. The attack damaged several homes, a medical facility, and a warehouse, according to Odessa's regional governor. Overnight attacks by Russia also sparked a fire at a petrol station.